So often when victims are rescued from scenes just like this here, the first responders and patients never see each other again. In fact, those first responders often don't even know if the patient survived.
But in the case of the local woman who survived this head-on crash 3 years ago and the paramedic and nurse who helped save her life, fate intervened. New at 5, we spoke to them at the scene of the crash to learn more about that frightening night and how they were brought back together again to pay it forward. It was the evening of January 11th, 2022. Lisa Brunetti was driving south on Route 1 in South Kingstown when she says a light appeared ahead of her seemingly out of nowhere.
And then before too long, this tiny little light turned into this, and that's when I realized somebody was coming at me, and I tried to swerve, but it was just too late.
The man who hit her was killed. Lisa was pinned in her car.
That breaking news, one person is dead after a wrong-way crash in South Kingstown. It happened just after 5 this evening on Route 1 South near Moonstone Beach Road.
I thought to myself, am I dying tonight? Is this it? Is this how it ends?
Among the many first responders there that night were Mike Horahan and Nikki King, a paramedic and nurse with Boston Med Flight.
We can usually predict injuries based on, of course, what the condition of the cars were, and they were catastrophically destroyed.
They cut Lisa out of her mangled vehicle and placed her in a medically induced coma. She woke up the next evening at Rhode Island Hospital to learn she'd broken all 4 limbs, multiple ribs, had a ruptured diaphragm, and partially collapsed lung.
So I was very lucky. I was very lucky that they got here in time to get me to the hospital and fix me up.
She never again saw those heroes who flew to her rescue until 6 months later, when a fundraiser was held in Narragansett to help with her medical expenses. Word somehow got to Mike.
It's so cliche, but something said, this is meaningful and you need to pay attention and ask more questions and maybe even travel to Rhode Island to go to this benefit tonight.
And then I turned around and next thing I knew he was kneeling in front of me. And he said something to the effect of, do you remember who I am?
I didn't know if it was a memorial or if it was a celebration.
So when you saw her in that wheelchair?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I just lost it at that point. Tears of joy. I got up and hugged him and just said, thank you so much for saving me.
When Lisa asked Mike how he found out about the fundraiser, he referred to it as Universe Juice, a series of serendipitous events that brought them back together.
Thank God for you guys.
And that term, universe juice, stuck with Lisa. And she learned seeing her rescuers didn't just give her some closure, but them too. Coming up at 6, how they're working to facilitate these same reunions for others and the impact they hope it has for not just the victims, but the first responders as well.